Hello and welcome to I Want to Grow, and I Want to Grow is all about that. It's about our growth, right? But not in this occasion, okay? We're celebrating the British Council, and we're celebrating 90 years of operations where they have touched people's lives. They've created ripples into waves, and this is all about not their growth, but other people's growth. So this is what we're celebrating today. Sean, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much.
Tell us a bit about yourself and what you do.
Yeah, well, I'm the principal of Doha English Speaking School. The school's been around in Qatar for over 40 years, so it's a very well-established school, comes under the umbrella of the British Embassy. I myself have been here for 8 years with my wife, 𝗪. Previous to that, I was a head teacher in the UK for 10 years.
It is a big school here, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, I think so. Yeah, we're really proud of the school and everything it's achieved over the years, and I think it is a slice of the UK in the school, but I think what I love about the school is the kind of multicultural aspect of it as well. So we've got over 20 different nationalities, and we celebrate that kind of global diversity as well, which I think in Qatar itself is such a strength as well, isn't it?
So you said you came here 10 years ago. What was that a hard decision to come here? What was your first opinion?
Yeah, it was. I didn't know a lot about Qatar. I'd heard of it. In fact, my maid of honour when I was married was a pupil at 𝗙ecie, so that's when I first heard about it, 30 years ago. But yeah, no, it was a big decision for my wife and myself, but we wanted a change. I'd heard a lot about 𝗙ecie, and it was a prospect that really excited me. I wanted something different. As I said, I'd been a head teacher for 10 years in the UK, so this was a kind of a new adventure for us.
And what have you found so far with that adventure?
I love it. I love living in Qatar. I think it's a very warm, excuse the pun, exciting, caring and kind place. I think I've been made to feel incredibly welcome here, but by Qatari people and by the people at the school as well. We enjoy living here. We enjoy that cultural diversity and the art and the culture in Qatar itself.
We spoke about ripples. You're definitely creating ripples here with all your students, because that's a big responsibility. And as you said, you've been with them now for quite a few years. How do you keep that evolving? How is it like from a principal's position? It must be a huge responsibility.
It is. I mean, first of all, I'm so proud of our students, and anybody who would love to come to our school, please come along and have a look and see the children in action, because they are a real credit to the school and the children's parents. I think we've got our finger on the pulse at 𝗙ecie. Our teachers are UK trained. We keep up to date with new initiatives and continual professional development, and that's important. We invest in professional development. We invest in our teachers and in the school itself. Making sure that we can continually offer the very best. I mean, just last year, we had an inspection by an external accredited company called 𝗪, and that's really important. And we got outstanding in all of the areas they inspected us in. So we're one of the few schools to actually have outstanding in every single area, and that's down to the staff and down to the students.
I suppose, and then you get to a stage where you've got a waiting list to come into your school.
That's correct, yeah. I mean, particularly in the early years, I think we're full up to about year 4, I think. And there is a lot of competition for those spaces, but we don't sit on our laurels. We don't get complacent. We're continually looking at ways to improve as well. Myself, I'm always looking at ways I can do things better. And that's those kind of values are the ones we pass on to our children. So, at our school we have key values of respect, perseverance, kindness, and responsibility, and everything we do really is based around those values.
Oh, it's amazing listening to this, because things have changed from my day. Things have changed so much, and listening to the words that you're using there, that's really great to know that the kids are being taught all these different aspects. It's credit to yourself. And what is it now that have you been doing with the British Council? We're celebrating 90 years. Incredible, right?
Oh yeah, incredible. I mean, just a couple of recent projects was the sustainability fashion show. Wonderful, absolutely amazing opportunity. And our students showcased clothes that they actually made themselves. And then they were able to show them at the fashion show. I thought the British Council did a fantastic job of organising the event. A lot of time and effort and energy went into organising it. Our parents thoroughly enjoyed it. And it really raised the profile even more of sustainability in the environment, for those students. And at the photography competition we took part in as well, a great kind of platform for their creativity and innovation. So that, those are just two recent projects we've taken part in.
But I think they're so important for the kids, right? Because you said photography. I never had those types of things when I was at school, right? And I was talking to somebody this week about the creativity, finding, identifying in kids. You know that saying, don't judge a fish by the way he climbs a tree, right? Because we're not all built the same way, right? And there's some people that's going to excel in different areas. So this is where I listen to the photography and I think to myself, the world it lights up for some certain types of kids.
Yeah. No, you're dead right. I mean, one of the things that an outstanding teacher should always do is cater for the different students they have in their care. So as you said, children learn in lots of different ways, and some children are more suited to the artistic subjects, and some the more kind of academic, science, maths and technology. So I think a competition like this enabled those artistic children really to show their flair and their confidence, and to trial different photographic effects, for example. The children thoroughly enjoyed it. They really did. I'm just
trying to think. I tried to empathize, or tried to think of the types of garments that they're doing. What were they using with this from a sustainability perspective? What were the garments that stood out for you?
I remember one girl was wearing a whole outfit made out of plastic bags. So reusing plastic. A lot of the materials obviously were reusable or recyclable. Another child had a costume just made of plastic bottles as well. So I think that they were incredibly creative, the students, and I think they thoroughly enjoyed it as well. And I think it was almost a springboard as well. We already at the school do a lot of work on the environment. And we have an eco committee, for example, with eco warriors, we call them, who do a lot of work planting trees, beach cleanups. They've taken part in environmental conferences internationally as well, virtually. So this just increased that knowledge and awareness of the environment. And what we do at 𝗙ecie as well, we build it into the curriculum. So, for example, one of our year groups has a green day where children actually come to school dressed in recyclable clothes. So this kind of added on to that. But it is within the English national curriculum, and we follow that at 𝗙ecie. So I think it just made it an exciting opportunity for the children as well.
I want to go to your school. I really do. I look back to mine, and I was never a great artist or somebody on that front. So, but I found out that I like photography. So I wish sometimes I do envy the situation, but but the creativeness, it adds to the soul of those kids.
Definitely.
And it brings out the best in them in ways that they can express themselves even more.
I agree, and I think it's also, I'm a parent of two children myself, and I think it's our responsibility as parents and as schools to almost bombard the children with these opportunities, and then they find something they're really interested in that they can develop perhaps when they get older, or even as a hobby. And you're right. I mean, things have changed since when I was at school as well. And I think now schools are far more geared to the children's interests. We want to excite them, we want to motivate them. And I think if you excite children, that they're far more interested in learning, they're far more engaged in what you're trying to say. So rather than just teach children about the environment, let's have these types of opportunities where it's a memorable opportunity. That those children who were walking the catwalk and displaying clothes they'd actually made will never forget that.
They'll never forget it, no. And it'll be part of their I was talking with a lady only the other earlier in the week, and she was drawn to the British Council because she got this certificate from them when she was 7 years old. Now she's with a shipping company holding a big position, and the British Council has been part of her life for all those years. And this is and I suppose this is where I find it sitting with you, overwhelming. You're a principal of a school. It's a big school. You're doing amazing things. I'm listening to what you're doing with the students, and it's like, but there's a big responsibility on you to try to bring out the best in those individuals.
Yeah, there is, but it's a responsibility that I'm really proud to have. You know, I feel very honoured to have. I mean, one of the first things I say to staff when we come back in for the new academic year is, in fact, I quote Spider-Man. I say, with great power comes great responsibility. And wow, we have got so much responsibility, and what a privilege. You know, we're helping in a way to kind of steer the direction of the next generation. And you know, it's really, we don't know what the future is going to bring for our children. So rather than just filling them with knowledge, we've got to give them key skills that they can use in any kind of context. So we spend a lot of time and effort in thinking about that at 𝗙ecie and thinking about, you know, what skills have the children got to learn, communication, research, and trying to interest the children so they will further their studies as well.
And I suppose you've got such a wealth of nationalities, cultures. I suppose that works in your favour also, because you're just open then to the rest of the world.
Exactly, and I think each of those nationalities brings a strength to 𝗙ecie as well. I mean, for example, you know, we have an international day at a different point during the year where children come dressed up in clothes from the country they come from, and sometimes they bring food and we share that, and they bring knowledge and a bit of culture. We'll have dance and we'll have songs and we'll have different cultural experiences, and it really widens the scope and the perspective of children as well. And I think what it does, and I say this as a dad as well, my daughter spent some time in Qatar, it helped her to embrace that diversity and understand that the world is a big place, but in some ways it's a small place, you know. So making the children realise all the children are the same, you know. They just have different backgrounds and different interests. So I think it's a really positive thing for the school to have that diversity.
With your school, in the way that you've got your school, do you think that there's a uniqueness because it is in Qatar?
I think so. I mean, I think it's got a uniqueness. We are a British school, you know, we're a Doha English Speaking School. The large percentage of students we have are from the UK. I think that makes us unique. All of our teachers are trained in the UK. We follow the English national curriculum. But I think also what makes us unique is the fact we've been in Qatar for over 40 years. Queen Elizabeth II opened the school in 1979 with the Emir's father. The Emir attended the school as a young child and actually returned in 2017 to record an interview with an American journalist for 60 minutes. So I think all of those experiences give us, yes, it's rooted in those British values, but also we're proud of being within Qatar. And I think both of those sets of values kind of join together very well and work together well. You know, we're proud of being part of the local community and having some high-profile Qataris who are part of our clientele as well.
Yeah.
And I think those two kind of cultures work really well together.
And how important was a partnership with the British Council?
Huge. You know, I think the British Council, I mean, are pushing some really innovative and creative projects. I think it's always useful for schools to have people like the British Council there offering this to our students, and not just to our students, to our staff as well, and to our parents. You know, the opportunities are huge, you know, both culturally and artistically, but if I'm honest, professionally as well. You know, I think it's important to keep in touch with what's going on. And you know, a lot of the research that the British Council are doing, a lot of the publications are really useful to all of us.
And how do you keep one of the questions that I wanted to, how do you keep on raising that bar?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I think you've got to really want to raise a bar, first of all. You've got to have that inner kind of...
I can feel that with you.
You know, you've got to have the passion. I think once you lose that passion, then it's time to leave the profession. I am passionate about education. I see the benefit. I mean, I've been in teaching over 30 years, and I think, you know, I see the difference it makes. I work with amazing teachers day in, day out, who just ignite the fire within the children. And I think it's keeping people motivated, keeping them interested, and actually trying to keep other people passionate about the job as well. I mean, the 𝗙ecie children make it very easy. You know, they are absolutely wonderful. And every day they make me smile and make me laugh. And I think, you know, being able to laugh and being able to smile every day is a huge thing as well.
And this is a really difficult question that we're going to kind of end on, is what is, and I know it's difficult, but what is the one word that you can best say for the British Council, and why?
invested, I think, would probably be one of the words I use, because they're invested in the community. They're invested in raising the profile, invested in events such as the sustainability fashion show and the photography competition. You know, they want to improve things. They want to diversify. So yeah, I would say invested probably best sums them up.
Thank you so much for coming in and spending time with us today, and thanks for saying some wonderful words about British Council. Thank you, and every success in the future with your school. You're doing an amazing job. I love your energy and your passion.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much indeed. Thank you. Thank you everyone for listening to our podcast today. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did.